Now, my students often ask me for different tips and tricks about the Duolingo English Test. And recently, I've had a lot of questions about fill in the blanks. So, in this video, I'm going to give you 6 great suggestions that will make fill in the blanks as easy as pie. So let's go. Hello, I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Today we're looking at tips and tricks for fill in the blanks on the Duolingo English Test. Let's do a quick review of fill in the blanks. So you'll get a sentence, just one sentence, and one of the words will be taken away. You'll have like 1 or 2, maybe 3 letters at the start of that word, and your job in only 20 seconds is to figure out what the word is and write that word in, spelling it correctly, and remember, spelling it in American English. And we have an example. Let's quickly look through it. I'm not going to tell you the answer to this now. If you know the answer, you can write it in the comments. But at the end of the video, we're going to look at the answer to this. So the project will go ahead as soon as the organizers can secure the necessary So what are those missing letters? That's the job that we have to figure out. So let's take a look at our 6 tips and tricks for fill in the blanks. The first one is use context clues. What does that mean? Context clues are the words before and after the space. And we look at those because they can give us a clue, they can give us some help about what type of word is missing. Is it a verb? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Is it maybe an adverb? And for example, we could look at this sentence, which is, the town hall is a beautiful historical, and then we have our blank opposite the cathedral. Now, we can look at beautiful historical, and we know that they are both adjectives. They describe something, and they would describe a noun. So the missing word must be a thing. All right? And so the real answer here is building, a beautiful historical building. Building is a noun. The second tip is not exactly about finding the right answer. It's more about managing your own emotions. So sometimes when you see a sentence, you'll immediately think, oh yeah, I know what that is. And then you try and type the answer and it doesn't fit. Maybe there's too many letters, or there's not enough letters. Or you read it again and you think, oh no, that's not right. So the key in that situation is not to keep trying or say, no, this is right. The test is wrong. You can't. Maybe the test is wrong, but probably you are wrong. So in that situation, try to forget about your first idea and then use these other tips. Use context clues and try to think, okay, it wasn't that first idea, but that's okay. Let's use the rest of the time to try to find the correct answer. Tip 3 is to be really careful with your spelling. Now, everybody has certain words that they find very difficult to spell. And honestly, for me, even as like a native English speaker and an English teacher, I find it very, very hard to spell the word rhythm. And like when I was writing the script for this video, I had to write rhythm. I wrote it and I thought, no, that's not right. Delete, 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 write it. Is that right? We just sometimes have blind spots. So it's like words that we can't remember. Our brain can't remember how to spell them. Now, my blind spots probably will be different to your blind spots, but I'm sure that you have some. I'm sure you have some words that are difficult to spell. Actually, I'd love to know which words you think are difficult to spell in English. Write them in the comments for me. But anyway, when you have words like that, it's really good to make a list of them and then keep that list somewhere convenient, like on your phone, and review that list and practice writing the correct spelling often. Because it will be the worst thing if you get to your DET and you know what the word is, and then you can't spell it, because you're not going to get any points for it. Tip 4 is to pay attention to prefixes and suffixes. That's a couple of like English language words. A prefix is a letter or a few letters that go before a word. For example, something is fair But if it's not, we say it's unfair. So un is a prefix, meaning not. Unfair, unlucky, and so on. A suffix is the opposite. It's words at the end, or letters at the end of the word. So fairly, for example, the li is a suffix. And sometimes we'll get a sentence where we think that we know it, but somehow the word doesn't quite fit. Let's take a look at this one, for example. She jumped in the car and drove as quick as she could. Now, when I say that, that feels quite correct. But actually, the correct grammar when you're writing, well, when you're speaking as well, but here, when you're writing, is not as quick, because this is talking about how she was driving. Driving is a verb, so quick should be quickly. So the adverb, quickly, with the ly suffix at the end. So when you get to this situation, just have a think. It isn't quick, but maybe it's, could it be quickly? And you can think about other prefixes and suffixes as well. For example, other suffixes might be ed at the end, or ing. So there's a little thing that may turn an incorrect answer suddenly into the correct answer. Then tip 5 is to avoid distractors. So distractors are words that look like they're going to be the answer, and it kind of takes you away from what the real answer is. We'll look at an example here. So if we had two words, parents and parties, so both of them start with P-A-R, and we could see a fill-in-the-blanks question where the missing word starts P-A-R. And so if you're thinking about, maybe you're going to have a party after you finish your test, you've got parties in your head, you might think, oh yes, okay, PA are parties. You have to keep a more open mind. For example, let's take a look at this sentence. So, Pa will be contacted by letter regarding our program of school trips. So really it could be parties if it's the right number of letters, but the meaning isn't right. And particularly if we look at like school, contacted by letter about school trips, we know actually, okay, it's not parties, it's parents. But this is right now when we're just talking calmly. In the exam, you're going to be a lot more nervous. You only have 20 seconds. So something like this may be a little bit tricky. So be very aware and very careful of distractors. And one way to make sure you don't fall into the trap of getting distracted, the distractor trap, is tip number 6, which is proofread your answer. Read your answer again. So when you get to like the time when you finish typing your word, let's say you've typed P-A-R-T-I-E-S, and you think, okay, it's the right number of letters. Yes, it's a real word. Pretty good. Okay, I think this is right. Just, if you have time, read the sentence again and think, okay, parties will be contacted by No, of course that's not right. So make sure you read the whole sentence again just to make sure that your answer makes sense. And that will help you to avoid any silly mistakes. So those are 6 tips and tricks about fill in the blanks. Let's do a couple of practice questions. Let's see if you can put into practice the things that we've been learning. So first of all, we're going to come back to the sentence we saw at the start. I'm going to put 20 seconds on the screen, and you're going to see if you can find the right word. All right? 20 seconds, your time starts now. Okay, so how was that? So you might have been distracted by the F-U-N, like fun. Oh, fun, yeah, okay. So it's something about, maybe it's about parties or something like that. Fun times, funnily. But actually that was a distractor. So the real word is funding. It's about money. So the project needs money. The organizers will try to get some money, some funding. All right, let's do one more practice. So again, there is a word. You have 2 letters this time. Think about all of the different things that we've talked about. The type of word, things like suffixes and prefixes and things like that. Have a try, 20 seconds. Your time starts now. Okay, so welcome back. Let's take a look. Any vehicles which are illegally. So legal means it's within the law. It's following the law. Illegal means it's against the law, but here we need an adverb. We need to think about a suffix at the end because this is talking about how you park your car. And if you park it in the wrong place, you are parking illegally. So the correct answer is parked illegally will be towed away. Towed is like when that big truck comes and goes and takes, I don't know if that's the right noise. I can't do the noise of a car being towed. Anyway, the car is taken away and they take it to somewhere else and then you have to pay to get it back. That is the car being towed. Why? Because it's parked illegally. Now, if you are preparing for the DET and you want to make sure you get a really high score, like 120 or higher, but you only have a short time to prepare, I really recommend our DET Complete course because it has everything you need to get a high score fast. We have a video course where we talk about every question, all of the details that you need, and our practice platform where you can do unlimited practice, as much as you want, of real DET questions, and you can even get feedback on your writing and your speaking from our AI. So, if that sounds good, make sure you follow the link below to find out more. And if you want to keep practicing fill in the blanks now that you've got these great tips, there is a video just here. It's got 10 practice questions for fill in the blanks. I hope you give that one a try as well. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Good luck in your DET. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.